Hello everyone! Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 303. I'm Andrew Eisen, and it is 87 degrees in here. You can hear my fan and my air conditioner running in the background. I'm sorry, I'm not turning them off. They're both running at full blast. And both running at full blast is managing to keep the temperature at 87 degrees. Which is why I'm not wearing my long sleeve shirt. Am I wearing pants? No. So, fingers crossed that I don't need to get up during the podcast for any reason. I try to make this a professional, presentable show, but it's too damn hot. It's the kind of hot where you don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to watch TV, play video games, read. I don't want to do anything. It's the kind of hot that just saps your energy, where you can't move and you can't really sleep. You just are kind of brain dead. You just kind of sit in front of the fan and all day. I've not been very productive today because it's very hot. Yes, Chicago, casual Saturday. Yeah, 87 degrees. I have AC. You see it over there? It's trying its best. And I have that right there is a tower fan. They are both running full blast, and they are keeping it at 87. I normally weigh about 213, 214, somewhere thereabouts. I weighed myself about an hour ago. I'm coming in at 211.8. I think I've sweated out over a pound. So, it's been kind of a miserable weekend, to be honest. Chicago says, I grew up with no AC. It's so draining. You feel so lethargic. Can't rest because it's too hot to sleep. Yeah. Exactly that. Your underclothes are just stuck to your body, and you're constantly, it's terrible. But you know what's good? The Extra Life charity event is good, and I will be participating once again this year. It's on November 5th. We'll start at Saturday, November 5th at noon Pacific Standard Time and run till noon the next day. And I have my my event page up, and I thought we'd take a little bit of time to talk about my initial plans for the show this year. So, the main game I will be playing this year is, little drum roll, there we go, very little drum roll, Resident Evil Village, the Gold Edition. So, I've not played Resident Evil Village because when it came out, looking at past releases, I was pretty sure that within a year or two there'd be a Gold Edition or Collector's Edition or Complete Edition or Ultimate Edition that would be cheaper and include more stuff. And by gum, coming out at the end of October is Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, or if you actually read the box, Village Resident Evil Gold Edition. So, now we can see what all the Lady Dimitrescu fuss is about. Will we play this game and want to be stepped on? Well, we'll find out in a mere 2 months. Chicago says, is it that hot because the sun keeps hitting your wall or because it's extra hot outside? Both. I probably do have it worse than other units in this complex because This is an outside wall. So this wall behind me right here, there's no apartment on the other side of that, which you can tell because there's a window right there. So that is south. So outside, which is east, is not a building that gives me shade. It's a parking lot where I park. So early in the morning, when the sun comes up, it hits the front of my home, and then it goes over that way. And you know what's on the other side there? Nothing. There's outside. It slopes down that way. There's a house on the reverse side of this apartment complex, but it's lower. So if I look out my bathroom window, I can see straight to SeaWorld. So the sun is baking down on my apartment at all hours of the day. So I probably have it worse than some other units. For example, my neighbors that way, they get full sun. They get the sun in the morning and they get the sun in the evening, but other than that, they're protected by upstairs and me. So yeah, I've got full sun exposure pretty much all day. And it takes until way after midnight, maybe like 2 in the morning, for that heat to dissipate. Can I get a discount rent because it's too damn hot? That would be nice. So yeah, Resident Evil Village. I'm very excited to play this. We probably will not get to any of the actual DLC during the charity event, but my understanding is that Lady D is the first major villain you fight, so we should definitely see her. Backed by popular demand, we'll be doing the Super Mario Maker 2 thing again, where if you donate $10, you can submit a course ID for a level that you've made or just a favorite of yours from the wider Super Mario Maker 2 community, and I'll give it a go. Or if you want to make an entire super world, donate $50 and I'll spend an hour playing through as much as I can. If we raise enough money, the Help Us Stay Awake game is going to be Ring Fit Adventure, which we have done in years past, but this time we're going to play the rhythm game included in Ring Fit Adventure. So there are taking the soundtracks from the game, but also some like medleys from Breath of the Wild and Splatoon 2, and I think Wii Fit, if I'm not mistaken. Some Nintendo music. You take that Pilates ring and you squeeze it to the beat, and while standing up or squatting to the left and to the right. So yeah, that'll be fun, and it's something that my sister and I can take turns doing. And yes, my sister will be here. She's working up in like Palmdale, I think, on Saturday, so she won't be here until like that evening, 6 to 8 in the evening, similar to last year. Lee says, let's blame the heat on climate change. Well, that's what it is, yeah. We need more green, safe stuff. Yeah, we do. It is actually, we have an extreme heat advisory here in Southern California for this weekend. I've been outside a couple times to like take the trash out, get the mail. The sun is brutal. I mean, it's the kind where you go out in the sun and you're like, oh, I should get in the shade. And I grew up in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona, so I've been around like, 115, 120. It's only like 95 to 97 outside during the day, which is extreme for San Diego. But yeah, that sun is baking. So Ring Fit Adventure rhythm game. If we raise even more money, we'll do the After Dark block, and this year we will be playing Bayonetta 3. Of course, all of this is dependent on these games not being delayed, because Bayonetta 3 and Resident Evil Village are both currently scheduled to come out the end of October. If they get delayed, I'm gonna have to switch gears. So that's what the plan is now, but things change. If we raise even more money, my sister and I will take a break from the video games and play an interactive investigative mystery game from a company called Hunt a Killer. Basically, you get a box of stuff that presents you with a premise. Someone on the Seaside Boardwalk amusement park has died, and you need to find the killer by sifting through this box of evidence. And so they give you a box that's full of newspaper clippings and diary entries and show program notes and things like that. You thought I was lying about no pants? I ain't wearing pants. Too hot for pants. Let's talk about Hunt a Killer. So we'll take a break and see if we can crack the case and find the killer. So that should be fun. And if we raise even more money, my sister has made some renovations to Kumquatia, her island in Animal Crossing. So if we raise, what I think I have it currently set at $2,500, we'll take a tour of New Kumquatia. And we'll publish her dodo code so you can visit while we're streaming. Didn't work last year for whatever reason, but, hopefully it'll work this year. So what else we got going? Chicago asks, are you going to do the mix all sorts of crazy drinks like last year? Well, we are doing the drinking game again this year. So for every $100 we raise up to $2,000, I will drink a new unique beverage on stream. And if you make a donation and you want to recommend something, feel free. Can't guarantee I'll get it because it's, whatever I can find. But if there's something you're reasonably certain I can get, make a donation of any amount, put it in the comments, and I'll do what I can to get it. So up to $2,000, so 20 different drinks. Just in case I have a really awkward, just in case we last year's goal was 2,000, and we ended up with, I think, like 2,650. So 26 or more drinks, that's a bit much. I don't think I want to go over 24, so I set the cap at 2,000, This year's goal is 3,000, and if we hit 3,000, then I'll do the mix all the drinks together and chug it. In addition, this year, we will see how much I can lift. So every $100 we raise up to 3,000, I will add 10 pounds to the weight bar, and at the end of the night, we will see if I can lift it and not drop it on my face. But don't worry, my sister will be here to spot me, so it'll all be just fine. Now, why am I drawing the line at $3,000? Well, it's because I only have 300 pounds worth of weights. That's as much weight as I can stack on this thing. I don't have any more. So that I kind of have to draw the line there. Can I bench press 300 pounds? Can I bench press 300 pounds after being up for over 24 hours? Well, donate lots of money and we'll find out. So, let's see. Ring Fit Adventure Rhythm. Oh, and of course, $500 and we'll add an extra hour, so 25 hours, noon to noon. Rhythm Game and Ring Fit Adventure, Bayonetta 3, Hunt a Killer, Animal Crossing, Resident Evil Village. Am I missing anything? We got the drinking game, we got the weights thing. Donate $25 and I'll thank you by name every hour. Got a couple other special things planned that will be announced later. Oh, Super Metal Dave will be dropping by at some point, so he'll be here again. And that's that. So if you want to, here, I will put the page in the chat. So if you want to go browse around and check out the event page, it's up and running. Still 2 months to go, so Chicago says, can you bench press 300 pounds after being up for 24 hours and drinking all sorts of weird drinks? Find out November 4th. Well, technically November 6th. Starts on the 5th, runs to the next day, so 6th. Hey, Chaos. So that's the Extra Life. And in case anyone's new at this, the money goes to Rady Children's Hospital, which is a local Children's Miracle Network hospital here in San Diego. So, all right, Extra Life, exciting. Let's see. Let's talk She-Hulk. So, She-Hulk, episode 3. I laughed multiple times out loud. I'm quite enjoying She-Hulk, and I would like to share my favorite joke of the of episode 3, which, like last week, was the news chyron talking about Titania, who we haven't seen since the end of the first episode. And as we all remember, if we watched the show and have decent memories, Titania busted through a courtroom wall and threw a desk at the jury box. So She-Hulk punched her in the nose to make her stop. We found out in the second episode via news report that Titania was fleeing traffic court. So apparently that's why she punched a hole in the wall. She was fleeing traffic court. Which tickles me to no end. But in episode 2, where they mention that, if you read the news chyron, it says Titania's lawyers say entire incident was an unfortunate misunderstanding and the result of an extreme case of low blood sugar. So she was angry. She didn't have her Snickers. Which amuses me to no end. And episode 3, which still doesn't have Titania in it anywhere, but she is mentioned if you read the news chyron at the start of the show, and it says, super-powered influencer Titania speaks out about latest legal troubles. Confident her legal team will make it go away. which again, just... I had to stop the show and just laugh for a bit, because that's very funny to me. So in this episode, it continues Jen's attempts to represent Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, at his parole hearing, so he can get out of prison after 15 years, however long it's been. And the wrench that's the cliffhanger from last week is the clip from Shang-Chi, where it's like, oh, apparently he broke out of prison at some point and entered into a cage fight. Well, that's not going to look good for the parole board. Good luck with that, Jen. So she talks to Emil, and he's like, well, yeah, but I came back, so it's fine. And besides, I didn't have any say in the matter. I was kidnapped and forced into a cage fight. And she says, by who? And he's like, the Sorcerer Supreme. So they Google Sorcerer Supreme, I guess, and find Wong, who apparently used to work at Target. At Carmitage. Apparently there's a Target somewhere at the temple in Nepal. If there's a Target there, there's probably a Starbucks, too. I mean, we know they have a library. He used to be the librarian before he was Sorcerer Supreme, so wouldn't surprise me if there was a few franchises in Carmitage. But anyway, she invites Wong to be a witness at the parole board and say, oh yes, I needed a worthy foe to train for my Sorcerer Supreme duties, which I don't know how the timeline works out, but I was under the impression that he was already Sorcerer Supreme, like, because Doctor Strange got blipped. I didn't know there was like a job required. Something sounds wrong here. There's either more here that will be explained later, or in later episodes, later movies or TV shows, where this was just not very well thought out. But from what I understand from watching the show once, may have missed a line of dialogue. Apparently, in order to be Sorcerer Supreme, which I thought he was already, he had to fight something big and strong. So he kidnapped Emil from prison and made him fight in a cage match, and then offered him asylum at Carmitage. And Emil said, "Nah, I got to go back to prison because I'm up for parole in like a couple of months." Which sounds all kinds of illegal, but Wong can do the portal thing, so he just portaled out of there when someone pointed out that was very illegal. Maybe I'm missing something. It's interesting because when we were watching Shang-Chi, I think all of us were like, why is Wong fighting Emil Blonsky? Or the Abomination? Like, what's the story here? Well, we got it, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I can imagine... like... Who is telling Wong, like, you can't be Sorcerer Supreme until you, fight a big radiation monster? What? What? Doctor Strange was already back by the time Shang-Chi came around, so if Wong wasn't already the Sorcerer Supreme, who was? Why did... Huh? I don't know. Whatever. It's dopey and it's silly and it's fun, but maybe I missed something, but my read was like, this not working for me. But everything else in the episode I thought was peachy. So, there's a really funny bit where there's a B story where that goofball from the other office, that sexist, self-absorbed dork, Dennis or whatever his name is, there's some shapeshifter, not a Skrull, I think they said a light elf, was posing as Megan Thee Stallion and bilking him for money. And he's thinks very highly of himself. So he's suing this shape-changing elf for fraud because he thought he was spending, $175,000 or whatever he spent on Megan Thee Stallion, not this light elf. And the elf's lawyer, their argument is, oh, come on, you couldn't have possibly thought that this was actually the Megan Thee Stallion. And it's like, well, I mean, it's the light elf is like a perfect shape changer. Looks and sounds exactly like Megan Thee Stallion. So I don't know. I mean, you might think, wow, it's really weird that Megan Thee Stallion is hitting on me, but ain't looking a gift horse in the mouth. I mean, it's not like the light elf was in a trench coat and a big hat or something like that. But Jen gets up on the stand. It's like, yes, he is absolutely the stupidest, most self-absorbed dipstick in the world who would absolutely think he has a shot at Megan Thee Stallion. Now, the fun bit is Megan Thee Stallion is actually cameos in the show. There's like a online YouTube video of Megan Thee Stallion transforming into the Light Elf, but she's also in court and she signs on as a client of Jen Walters. And then they dance to one of her songs, Bodies or something like that. Now, 2 years ago, Cardi B came out with a song called WAP, and featured on that song was Megan Thee Stallion. I did a review/reaction of WAP, And because I did, I know who Megan Thee Stallion is. And so the cameo wasn't completely lost on me. So I was very proud of myself for being hip enough to modern pop culture to actually get the cameo. So, hooray for me. I'm not quite that old. Anyway, really enjoying She-Hulk. Looking forward to more news chyrons talking about Titania. So, let's see, what do we got now? So, another thing I am enjoying, and have been enjoying for a couple of years, is the Harley Quinn cartoon. It started out on DC Universe, and then they scrapped that, and it's now HBO Max. But very much enjoying the Harley Quinn show. Now, it's currently in season 3, and between seasons 2 and 3, they released a comic book called the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour. Team Western Productions, hello. Did I see you on Twitter somewhere? That name looks familiar. Anyway, hi. So, Eat, Bang, Kill Tour takes place between seasons 2 and 3. Looks really cute. Always wanted to read it. And my library finally got a copy this last month, so I read it, and it was good. I was struck by the, who are the artists? Let me see if I recognize the names. T. Franklin, Max Sarin, and Marissa Louise. Yep, not names I recognize. But whoever did the art is really awesome at art. This book has some of the most readable, attractive, funny facial expressions I've seen in a illustrated book in quite some time. This thing, just so many of the facial expressions and posings throughout this book is just hilarious. So, kudos to the art team on Eat, Bang, Kill Tour. It was quite an entertaining read, and the art was pretty. I also, while I was browsing the library selections, what do I mean I recognize your name on Twitter? I mean, Team Western Productions sounds familiar. Nope, it wasn't that. It was Dusty Tome Studios. So, I just remembered a similar name on liking or retweeting something of mine earlier today. But nope, wasn't you. It was, unless you're also Dusty Tome Studios. Dusty Tome Studios, Team Western Productions. Same person? Same entity? No, probably not. But anyway, no, I just saw the name. I was like, is that something I've seen before? But no. But you should follow me on Twitter anyway. I'm sure you'd get a kick out of my tweeting nonsense. What was I talking about? So while I checked out Eat, Bang, Kill, there was another book called Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. Mariko Tamaki and Steve Puh. Which I read also. Very different from Eat, Bang, Kill, but very striking art style. Very different from the cartoony style of Eat, Bang, Kill. This one's a bit more minimalist, particularly in its color palette. It's much more monochromatic. We'll usually pick a primary color like blue or orange and use that as a page-wide motif. Sometimes with little pops of color here and there. But it's really an attractive book, and the premise of it is it follows Harleen Quinzel as a 15-year-old who moves to Gotham to go to high school. And she moves in with a guy who runs a drag queen karaoke bar, and she goes to school with Poison Ivy, and shenanigans ensue. She meets someone who claims to be the Joker, and then she ends up trying to be a good guy, but then goes to prison, and then breaks out of prison, and that's the end of the book. It just stops. I don't know if there's going to be any more. I didn't really research it too heavily. Okay, well, sorry for mistaking you, potentially mistaking you for someone else. Anyway, hope you're enjoying the podcast. Thanks for dropping by. So, breaking glass, what is it called? Breaking Glass, yes. I enjoyed it until it stopped. It's not a very satisfying end. It doesn't conclude. It just stops. There's kind of an unsatisfying ending there. Oh well. But I enjoyed it for the most part. All right, where are we now? We are right. Okay, so I have long not particularly been the biggest fan of the Tales series of RPGs. Played a couple of them. Thought they ranged from okay to not very good. Recently played the demo to Tales of Arise and thought it was outright bad. However, I've always been rather intrigued by Tales of Berseria. I always just thought the characters and stories seemed neat. So I thought, you know what, I should see if there's a demo and give it a go. And there is a demo. I first downloaded it back in 2018. I never got around to actually playing it. So I finally... you did hear me talk about She-Hulk, yes. I'm done talking about She-Hulk now, but yeah. Writer of WPC Prison. That's not something I know, I think. Let me see. Not coming up with something on a... Well, congratulations on that writing gig. I'm not sure what that is, but, congrats. Finally decided to play the demo for Tales of Berseria, which I downloaded 4 years ago. RPGs are notoriously difficult things to demo. The approach that Tales of Berseria takes is it has two scenarios, a story scenario and a combat scenario. They're exactly the same. One's on a beach and one's in a swamp, but they're the same thing. Same tutorial in both. You're plopped in a area, you have the same items and equipment and characters, and it's on Wattpad. I don't know what that is either. Sorry. So you're dropped in an area and you can beat up monsters. Really all it does is give you a sense of the combat, which feels a bit button mashy, although it's flashy and interesting to look at. And some of the character dynamics. And it does some neat things. There's some interstitial, the characters will talk to each other, and that can be kind of fun. And after each battle, there's a little character screen with the characters posing together. We did it! Yay! And sometimes they'll talk to there'll be little one-off conversations where they'll talk to each other. So there's a lot of personality in this. Doesn't really demo that well because you have no context for who anyone is, where they are, what they're doing, what the story is. And it's throwing you in the deep end. because in both scenarios, you have what I'm assuming is a full party of 6 people. Full loadouts. You can switch. There's a bunch of different moves. You can, if you're playing around in the menus, you can swap out moves. You can swap in characters. It's like, I have no idea what's going on. This feels like it's like 60 hours into the game. But what I'd really like to talk about is Velvet's outfit. Because there's a lot going on here. This is the lead character of the game, Velvet. And she is, yeah. I don't know what happened to poor Velvet. She may have fallen into a pit of rabid weasels. Although she seemed to escape without a scratch on her person, her clothes did not come out okay. There are some things I like about this outfit. I like the overall concept. And I think the color balance really works with the black, red, and gray. But I hope there's a story behind this, but it really feels like this is just what she wears. Like, she gets up in the morning, like this is a fashion statement, like distressed or ripped jeans. It looks like she's a homeless vampire or something. She is lit, says Chicago. Yeah, homeless vampire. That's a good way to put it. Caleb says she is literally too angry to die if changing clothes is death. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by computer stuff. Let's see. So, I looked at a couple of because I kind of expected her to start out with an untorn outfit, and so I figured there'd be like a pristine version of this outfit and then a ripped version. Like, not as far as I've seen. As far as I can tell, and I could be completely wrong here, big RPG. But there's 3 in-game costumes for her. One is pants and a tunic and boots, which is not a put-together version of this. It's just pants, tunic, and boot. Then there's this, and then there's I'm wearing a potato sack, and I've been in a dungeon for like 2 years, and the potato sack has fallen apart. So either she's a big fan of shredded clothing, or as I proposed on Twitter, maybe she came to life and slept with the costume designer's spouse and then ran over their dog, and this was payback. Or Bandai Namco figured this was a good way to convince us to buy $60 worth of DLC costumes. It's like, 'cause, oh my, there's things going on here. It's like, let's put a belt around my thigh, my right thigh. Not the left thigh, the right thigh. You know what it needs? Another belt. You know what? Another belt. More belts. Square Enix is probably looking at this going, not enough belts, but why is there 3 belts wrapped around your upper thigh? What is going on? And she seems to be wearing a gauntlet on her right forearm, and then metal, a full metal boot up with shin guard and knee guard on her right, but like part of one on her left with more buckles. And I'm just trying to imagine her getting dressed in the morning. Jared says, what are we talking about other than Violet? Is it Violet? I thought it was Velvet. Did I get that wrong? I wrote down Velvet. I may have that wrong. It's Violet? Oh, well, whoops. My mistake then. Well, regardless, V, as her friends call her, I'm sure, I'm actually kind of curious to. Is there a story behind this outfit? What happened to it? Why is she okay but her outfit is not? You know, you would think that she'd be bloody and bruised and scratched up, but no, it looks like she just got out of the shower and then put that on. Maybe it's the only thing she has. I don't know, but maybe that's the entire quest line of the game. Is she's monster slaying to raise funds to go shopping and buy herself a new pair of pants. It is Velvet? Okay. I can play the game to find out. I don't know if I will, because the Tales games have historically not done it for me. And this demo was like many RPGs before it. RPGs, hard to demo. Not very good. Like, at first I thought I was like, okay, this battle system seems interesting. But it also appears to be just pure button mash. It doesn't seem, and again, this may just be how the demo's set up. I was like, all of these buttons, you can like hit any of the face buttons to do an attack. I'm like, oh, okay, so different buttons do different attacks and different combinations. No. Just, they all do exactly the same combo. Just, pick your favorite buttons. Would you rather press X or triangle? Or are you a circle or square kind of person? Doesn't matter. After a while, I went into the menu and found out that the same move was assigned to all 4 face buttons. I'm like, oh, well, that might be why. So I assigned different moves to the different face buttons and still couldn't figure out much of a difference between the moves. But again, this is another RPG demo where they're dropping you in like 30 hours into the game, which I understand why they do that. They like really want to. It's like, look, you've got all these spells and all these moves and 6 party members and all this. And it's like, I get that you want to show that off, but I understand that RPGs starting are generally slow burns, but man, I don't know. I still think generally, depends on the game, but a lot of the best ways to handle an RPG demo is just give me the first chapter of the game. Just give me the first 3 to 5 hours. Because that's how RPGs hook you. With the characters and the world and the story. Like, as much as I'm loving Trails in the Sky right now, oh, hey, it's dropped to 85 in here. Nice. Oh, hang on. There we go. Man, brain does not work. It's too hot. Lost my train of thought. Shoot. Talking about RPGs. Much as I'm enjoying Trails in the Sky right now, if you just dropped me in the middle of second chapter somewhere, I would not know what was going on or who any of these people are or what they're trying to do. Come to think of it, if you just started Trails of the Third without playing the first two games, you'd be completely lost. There's a Diamond 4 attack set that you can use so you can't spam them. Yeah, the problem with real complicated RPG battle systems, like what it appears to be in Berseria, is it's something you have to be eased into, so you understand not just what you can do, but why you would want to. She can also... you see how her arm is all bandaged, her left arm? She can go like demon claw kind of thing on her left arm. But occasionally some of the other characters will do a super attack, and I'm not sure if that's based on something I'm doing or if it's just a random thing. They're neat. There's some gauges that I don't know what they're doing, what they do. I mean, the game, the tutorial only explained one of them. I've got like soul balls or something that fill up, and I have to wait for them to fill up before I can start smacking the face buttons, because otherwise I whiff. I can block, but it took me a while to try and figure out how to read the enemies, especially their special moves and spellcasting stuff, to know when to block, and blocking didn't seem to be that useful anyway. I had a lot more success just moving out of the magic circles. I didn't think... Oh, also that there was no way to invert the vertical camera, which... you get a skateboard for some reason. I'm sure there's a story explanation for that, but holy biscuits does that control poorly. Decent enemy design, character design seems fine. There's some weird thing about you've got a child in your party and he apparently sleeps in the mind of some other woman who's in your party, which is... I'm sure there's a story there. But I don't know. With RPGs, the story is, usually at least, is a big draw. You know, that you want to be... It's a role-playing game. You want to be able to immerse yourself in a new world and luxuriate in the characters that inhabit this new this world. And you know, there were no towns in the demo. There was no one to talk to. It was just go beat up monsters. And I mean, that's cool, but that's like going to a sushi restaurant and just giving me a bowl of rice. I like rice, but that's not a great sampling of the restaurant menu, you know? I mean, that's... Let me see if I can get a more apropos analogy. Going to a sushi restaurant, and they give you a bowl of rice and edamame. And it's like, well, garlic edamame. It's like, well, okay, cool. But, maybe get some hand rolls up in here. I don't know. You know, it doesn't seem like the best way to show off a sushi restaurant, right? So I found the demo lacking, but I like a lot of the small details, like the character interactions, the way the interstitial conversations were handled with the character portrait animations. I thought read really well. I liked the varied ending battle screens. I thought those were nice. I like the fact that the incidental dialogue is actually translated. So when they they end a fight and goes "Yata," and if you don't know what that means, you can look up in the corner. Yay! You know. Yeah, Mina Daijobu, and it's like, everyone, you okay? So a lot of times the incidental dialogue will not be translated. So, I mean, it's, if you know a little bit of Japanese, usually you can pick up most of it, but because it's usually not very difficult. It's usually things like, "Hooray, we did it! Let's go! Are you okay?" Just real simple stuff, you know. I'll say that Tales of Arise flat out turned me off the game. I hated the demo. I'm like, oh my god, this demo makes this game look awful. Berseria made it look... The Berseria demo made it look like not the greatest demo. Like a demo that isn't fully serving the game. So, never know. If I catch it on sale, maybe I'll pick it up. But I mean, I've already got a decade's worth of RPGs with Trails in the Sky ahead of me. I love the Yakuza games. I'm sure there will be Yakuza, Lost Judgment, stuff like that. Um, I'm sure another one will be out in the next year. Um, I maybe I'll check out Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at some point. Brian actually gifted me Xenoblade Chronicles X, so I have that now. So I'm looking forward to checking that out at some point. So, I mean, I'm kind of gun shy about pulling the trigger on yet another extraordinarily long RPG. Let me get Velvet off the screen there so you can all read the chat. Let's see. Caleb says, let me back up a bit. Team Western Prods says, yeah, I'm planning to write a book for Marvel and many more books I will make. Oh, well, cool. Good luck with that. Caleb says, the Tales series has been iterating on the same battle system for what feels like its entire life, so sometimes it is especially inscrutable if you haven't taken the journey of that battle system. It's, one thing I liked about what I played in the demo is you can on the fly, well, there's some restrictions, but you can on the fly. There's 6 people in your party, but only 4 can be in an active battle at the time. But with some restrictions, you can on the fly swap characters in and out, which is nice because one thing I generally don't care for with active battle systems in RPGs is you have this crew of really cool characters, but you don't get to play as them. They're just on their own, doing their own thing. Now, in some games, like Xenoblade Chronicles, you can change who the lead character is. Like, instead of playing Shulk, you can play Karna? Sure, Karna. Or Ryan, or one of the other characters, and have a different experience. But you don't get to control what each member of your party is doing like you do in a turn-based RPG like Trails or Dragon Quest or some of the early Final Fantasies. And for me, anyway, I'm wandering around beating the snot out of things as Velvet, and I'm like, I feel like I'm missing out on 75% of the experience because the other 3 characters are just wandering around doing their own thing, and I have no control over that. But in Berseria, you can, in battle, just swap in another member and start beating the snot out of characters with them. So that might go away to assuaging that particular issue I have with most active battle systems. So that was another neato thing I saw in that game. Jared says dodging is the way to go. It seemed to be, yeah. Let's see, the appeal of Tales games and the party systems. The appeal of the Tales games is the party system, not the combat. Then this demo was kind of focusing on the wrong thing, because they're pretty much just both scenarios just drop you in an area filled with monsters, and it's just like, go pick stuff up off the ground and then battle monsters, and then once you battle the monster colored red and beat it, the demo just immediately ends. No fanfare, no cutscene, just title screen. It's like a little anticlimactic. So, if my takeaway from the game would be similar to Jared's, in that the appeal is more the party and characters and not as much the combat, this demo doesn't really focus much on that. There's at least two areas where if you're looking, there's a little prompt, you hit the prompt and it does kind of a soft cutscene. Not a fully animated one, just with the animated character profiles. And, those little interactions seem cute. Again, it's 30 hours into the game, I guess. I have no context for who these people are or what they're talking about. In fact, when I first started the demo, I had no idea I had anyone in my party until they started yelling at me. I'm like, who is this? Did we just... Oh, he's in my party. Oh, who's that? Are they in my... How many people are in my party? Pause menu. Oh, 6. Okay. Let's see. The appeal of Tales games is the party... anyway, it's 5? What's 5? It's $5? Trails of Berseria is $5 right now? Okay, Jared just gave me a Steam code for Berseria. Oh, god damn it, Jared. Now I've got to play another RPG. Well, I mean, okay, I've been eyeballing this goddamn game for 4 years. 4 or 5, what was it, 2017, 2018, something like that it came out. So there's obviously something about the game that's appealing to me, so, okay. Oh, hey, alright, we're on our way. Chaos just made a donation to the Extra Life, so, hey, we're on our way to meeting our $3,000 goal. Oh. Y'all. Hey, Ronan. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Alright. I guess I'll have to play Berseria now. Looking at my in the middle of games on the floor, and I'm thinking I should probably finish some of these before starting another damned RPG. I need to get back to Persona 5. I stopped playing Persona 5 again because I got to a palace boss and I hated it. So I finally got to no excuses now, says Jared. That's right. So I'm at the point of the game, it's like September or something. We are, who are we fighting? We're in the, there's a conglomerate that owns a burger shop and he's abusing his employees, so it's the space-themed level. And those of you who've played Persona 5 or know people who have, I'm going to talk about this boss and why I don't like it. I'm curious to know if the Persona 5 community is kind of on the same page. Like, yeah, Persona 5 community, no one really likes this boss either. So, you fight the King of Space, right? And he sits in a chair and doesn't fight you. He just sends out minions for you to fight. Okay. But here's the gimmick. Every wave of minions he sends out has to be, you have to defeat all 4 or 5 of them, or however many there are in each wave, at the same time. Or they just recharge their health and you have to start over. So, wave 1 is a bunch of robots, so you have to either know or remember or figure out what they're weak to, and then hope that you have a person who has the ability to use the same element against them to kill them all at the same time. In this particular boss fight, for some reason, the all-out attack doesn't work. I don't know why. It just doesn't. Also, unless I'm really unlucky, there are no showtime attacks in this boss battle either. Why? I don't know. One of the things I've admired about the game is in-universe explanations for nearly everything. But they apparently just turned it off. Maybe it broke something. I don't know. But every wave, you have to defeat all of the enemies at the same time, which is really hard to do. And is really annoying. Especially if one of them gets buffed, and so you damage them, they get damaged differently, so you kind of have to figure out which one is buffed, debuff them, hopefully you have something that will do that, and then figure out what their weakness is. Hopefully you know that, because you're going to be wasting a lot of time if you don't. And then use that to whittle their health down at the same time so that they all die in the same at the same time so that the next wave comes. Oh. And the boss battle is timed. If you don't beat it in 30 minutes, you lose. And you have to start all over again. Well, I very calmly and without copious profanity extended the middle finger of one of my hands towards my television, turned the game off, and haven't played it since. That just irritated the hell out of me. I found the, you gotta beat them all at the same time to progress, annoying in and of itself, but now it's timed? What's particularly cumbersome is, and this may be my own fault for being the type of gamer who picks up everything that is not nailed down, but I'm like, oh, these are weak to psi, and I need a psi magnetama, or I need an item that gets rid of this particular buff. So I go into my items menu, and I have to scroll through 75 different things, quickly reading the descriptions, because I can't remember what the hell it's called, looking for the item I need. Stressing out that I'm going to miss it and have to go around the horn and read through all of them again to find the damn thing that removes the hunger debuff or whatever the hell it is. I really hate that fight. I only attempted it once and I ran out of time. Mainly, I think probably everyone who is going to time out the first time through it. And y'all know I have anger issues. I'm an angry person. I got temper problems. It made me mad. I did not give it a second shot. And it's been about 2 weeks. But I really do want to play through the rest of the game. So I really need to... I need to gird up my loins and play the video game like a grown-up. Ronan says, oh, that could get annoying. Ronan says, I sometimes think game developers put stuff like that in games just to aggravate the players. That's why I would be interested to know is that how does the broader Persona 5 community view this fight? Is it generally poorly? Do people generally like this fight? I don't know. I had a negative reaction to it, which was frustrating because I was frustrated with the game because there's nothing going on for like a month and a half, August through like middle of September. And I finally get to a palace, and it's like, okay, we've got a palace, we're going to go in and actually play video game now. Oh, this is so wonderful. And, it's like 2 or 3 hours worth of palace, and then you have to go out, send the calling card, go back in to fight the boss, and I hated the boss. I hated it. I think without the time limit, it would just be annoying. But with the time limit, it's, for me, rage-inducing. Because the time limit is like, oh no, he's going to escape in his spaceship in 30 minutes. But he's not in his spaceship, he's sitting in a chair outside his spaceship. I guess at the end of 30 minutes he just gets bored and turns around and walks on his ship and leaves, and you don't do anything. I guess you're blocked by the enemies. I don't know. I don't like it. Jared says, I uninstalled 4 because of a boss. Wow. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. Let's wrap this up. So, I'll probably do Berseria on one of the Sunday streams. I have tomorrow's game already set up, so not tomorrow, but maybe the first Sunday in October we'll give Berseria a try. Extra Life page is up. Chaos has already made a donation, so If you want to get your donations in earlier, is there any advantage to doing that? No. but you can. But visit my page. It's scroll back in the chat and you'll see it. Or extralife.org/participant/Andrew Eisen. It's extra-life.org/participant/Andrew Eisen. That'll take you to my page. Show off the stuff I've got planned. Resident Evil, Bayonetta 3, that rhythm game in Ring Fit Adventure. We're doing the drinking game again, Super Mario Maker 2. Kelly will be here, Super Metal Dave will be here. Lots of fun stuff, so check it out. Chicago says, does the spaceship have a porch and he's just chilling there sipping some iced tea? No, a spaceship is like a flying saucer with a ramp that comes down, and at the end of the ramp he just set up like a throne or something. So he's sitting in a chair, but I mean it may as well be a lawn chair. I guess at the end of 30 minutes he just stands up, walks up the ramp, pulls it up after himself, and leaves. And you lose. It's just really annoying. Now, granted, I imagine I disliked it more than most, again, because I've got really nasty temper problems, but, yeah, that, I don't know that there are right ways to rub me, but I do know there are wrong ways, and that, Persona 5 Royale, was the wrong way to rub me. So, okay, so that's it for the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for donating to Extra Life. Jared, thanks for buying me video games that I definitely have time to play. Tomorrow for the Sunday stream, we will be playing the DLC story expansion for Lost Judgment, The Kaito Files. So, looking forward to that. And that starts noon Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully it won't be 90 degrees in here, because that would suck. I'll try to, try to wear pants tomorrow, because I'm not wearing pants right now. You thought I just doffed the long sleeve shirt? No, I'm not wearing pants either. But I may have to reconsider that for the stream, because the stream is normally several hours, and I like to get up and stretch now and then and use the restroom or get a drink or something. So I'll have to carefully consider my comfort and your comfort. So, all right, everyone, have an excellent evening. I hope it's not as hot where you are, and hope we'll see you tomorrow for some Lost Judgment fun. If you don't know, it's a spin-off of the Yakuza series of games, which is that game series that teaches you the very moral life lesson that every problem you could ever encounter can be solved by punching it dead in the face. So it's a very therapeutic, good time. So hope you'll join me. All right, that's it for tonight. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.